The whole point of Fox News is to scare old people into thinking that the U.S. is becoming the Soviet Union. Scare old people into thinking that every little convenience that they have is going to be taken away by frothing at the mouth liberals. That's the whole point of Fox News. Well, they really, really lived up to their reputation here. So this is in Mediaite. Fox guest alleges electric stoves are part of government conspiracy. Quote, eventually, they can control that stove. Yeah, because that's what they want. Like, the comptroller of your town or your city is like, I'm going to mess with Bob and his stove. Watch this. These people are paranoid and delusional. Okay, so it gets better than that. It's not just the electric stove he's concerned about. He's also really concerned about the toilets. Okay, I'll just let them speak for themselves.
I want my pizza back. I want my ceiling fan back. I've got my pool pump. They're going to take my pool pump away.
By the way, I'm sure every single one of those things is a lie. The left is cracking down on my fan and my pizza. The pizza thing, we already debunked that. It came from a lie that the right spread about New York, that they're banning the, coal-fired ovens or whatever. And then I did some research on that, and we found out very quickly, that's not at all what's happening. They had mandated by law by like 2020 that you need a little monitor to determine the particulate emissions that come out of the coal-fired ovens. And if you can't have that installed, like they'll install it for you. If you can't reach the emissions threshold, they'll work with you to come up with an emissions threshold that's like a little higher than what they expect of it. Like, it's so made up. They just misconstrued it into like, aha, you're trying to ban pizza. It's like, that is so far from true that you have to know that's a lie. And of course, here's Neil Cavuto spreading that propaganda and lying.
What is it with this crowd, in the name of climate change, that they are operating Soviet-style regulatory policies and they're jamming it down our throats and taking all consumer choice and freedom away?
Well,
what
because
is
they don't value consumer choice, and they sure don't value freedom. These are little puny efforts to combat climate change. You put them all together.
That wasn't even about climate change. The whole thing with the pizza, where they say the pizza's being banned when it's not being banned. It's a little emissions monitor, and they want you to reduce by a little bit the amount of emissions, the particulate matter that gives people all sorts of illnesses. That has nothing to do with climate change. That's about particulate emissions that could literally kill a worker if they work in one of those restaurants for an extended period of time. They don't even know what they're talking about. Okay,
It isn't going to have any impact
It equals
at all.
about 2 Chinese coal plants.
Exactly. China is building hundreds of coal plants and will go on.
So in other words, look, if they do things that are terrible for the environment, then why can't we do them too? That's the argument. That's the argument. Maybe, we can still protect the environment because that's a good thing in and of itself. Maybe also moving to green and renewable technology is not just good from a moral perspective and an environmental perspective, but it could also be good from an economic perspective because we can get patents on the new technologies and sell them to the world. Maybe that.
Because they care not a fig for our interest in climate change. So
a fig.
Why upset and rile? The worst one is this thing about generators. I mean, if everything goes to pieces and we don't have electricity available, which certainly could happen, you're going to rely on your generator. And now they've just put through a rule supposedly for safety, but you know perfectly well it's about emissions. They've said it's about emissions that eliminate 95% of the generators on the market, and you're not allowed as a company to stockpile these, the ones that are now compliant.
Right.
So you're going to have a real problem here.
That's one of those things where after the show, I'll look it up and it'll just be completely factually wrong or massively misleading and misstated. This is what these guys do. This is what they do. And I'm sure she didn't characterize whatever regulations there are around generators that are new. I'm sure she didn't categorize the argument as to why they would do it accurately, because these are ideologues, man.
Cold shower every morning?
No,
Seriously, I don't. I want some damn hot water.
Look at that man's toupee, dude. Holy cow. That man's got a mean toupee.
Seriously, I don't. I want some damn hot water.
Yeah.
Do you want to live like in Europe? You ever try to take a shower in Europe? You can't do it. You ever try to flush the toilet in Europe? Can't do that either.
Wait till they come in here. You got 75 lights on the ceiling. You got 7 cameras. This is really about control. That's what it's really about. The reason they want you from a gas stove to an electric stove is eventually they can control that stove.
Come on, bro. Come on. Don't you think liberals have better things to do than play with your stove? By the way, again, so there was a big study that came out which said, hey, gas stoves do have health issues associated with them. And it shouldn't be surprising. You fucking fill in the house with this noxious gas, and there's particulate matter problems, and some people, I don't remember the specifics, but it, leads to cancer and other health issues. And so there was a discussion about, maybe we need better standards. Maybe people should lean more on electric stoves. Biden was never going to ban electric gas stoves. But by the way, would it be unreasonable to do so? Absolutely not. Guys, I swear to God, if we had leaded gasoline today, if it wasn't already banned, and we tried to ban it today, they would be like chugging leaded gasoline in the street, drinking it, and acting like, get your hands off my freedom gasoline, I call it. Lead paint. Lead paint was banned. Why? Because there were serious health issues associated with it. If it was still legal and we tried to ban it today, they would flip out and say, how dare you try to ban the lead paint. Asbestos. For the insulation in the houses, they used to use asbestos. Well, asbestos gives all sorts of health problems, and all these workers were getting super sick and dying as a result of it, and had all these lung issues. And if we had asbestos legal today and they tried to ban it, they would be like, they'd eat it. They'd be like, get your hands off my asbestos. Get your government hands off my asbestos, you authoritarian. You need to be willing to make a distinction between what is authoritarian and what is a basic safety regulation. To them, there is no such thing as a basic safety regulation. All this is authoritarian, all of it. And so here we are, where they whine about, like, I'm telling you, man, all the advancements that we made over the years in getting rid of products that are super dangerous, they would argue that, no, I have a right to use asbestos. And I want to use asbestos because it triggers the liberals when I use asbestos. Now they're doing the same thing with gas stoves. And again, they're misstating it too, because it's not like Biden's trying to ban them. He's not trying to ban them. It was just like a factual scientific report said, here are the problems with it, and they flipped out over it. It's like, okay, if you're going to get mad over facts, I don't know what you want me to tell you. That's just pathetic. That's on you.
They're already doing that in some towns in California, controlling the thermostats. They can turn it down when they want to. The electric cars, they'll be able to shut you down if they need to. Everything, the new washer, dryer, the new toilet, instead of 3 gallons, 1 gallon.
I know.
Save water.
I know.
Now you got to flush it 11 times.
I love how, just like Trump, they're accidentally admitting to the world, like, just so you know, I take colossal dumps. My dumps are tremendous. Kudlow said it about Europe, and you can't even flush the toilet. This guy's like, the new toilets, you got to flush them 11 times, bro. You want to know why? Because they're trying to control you and your big, massive dumps.
Even the shower head. These were things, by the way, Trump violently opposed. He had regulations to change all this stuff. Now these guys, these dopey dopes, are bringing it back.
Yeah, he also had regulations to weaken the Clean Water Act and Clean Air Act, and he had regulations. He deregulated the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to allow big banks and big financial institutions to defraud Americans repeatedly. He also did that. You don't want to bring that up? Yeah, I didn't think you wanted to bring that up.
Dishwashers, washers and dryer, mobile homes, refrigerators, microwave. What?
Give me my own toilet or give me death. How dare you? They want to control you. That's why they want the electric stoves. They want to control your stove. That's why they want the new toilets. They want to make you flush it 11 times. So with the microwave, the mobile homes, bro. In other words, any sort of minor little regulations that are made to make products more safe, to make them more efficient, it's the end of the world. The sky is falling. Now, by the way, ask these people, hey, should drugs be legal for recreational use? See how quickly they flip like that with their, oh, we believe in freedom concerns. No, you don't. No, you don't. You are just against even basic safety regulations because you're corporate stooges. That's what it is. And so this is embarrassing. Imagine having a meltdown over new toilets or electric stoves and saying it's a conspiracy to control you. And by the way, all these people sitting here were probably in favor of the Patriot Act. You want to talk about really controlling people? Look at Edward Snowden. Look at Julian Assange. Should they be pardoned? I think they should be pardoned. Do you think they should be pardoned? The Patriot Act actually was trying to control you, actually was spying on you, and Larry Kudlow probably supported it. But God forbid, basic safety regulations around appliances. And, oh, the sky is falling. My God, no. All right, we see you. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.